ESPN's 1240 and online at WBBW.com. Ryan and Ellis here. And like we said earlier today, every Thursday at 5:30, we are joined by the guys from 360 Sports Network. We're going to talk a little fantasy right now, and I need a little help. I got a lot of buys this week. Week one hit me like a... Week one of the buys hit me like a brick.
Yeah.
Let's bring on Greg right now. Greg, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good, you know. You know what, I'm very happy. Usually I'm not the best fantasy guy, but the last couple weeks you guys have called in, I am number one in my leagues. Actually, no, I'm number one in one and number two in the other. I haven't been ranked this high through 4 weeks and since '07, I think.
Well, let's keep the magic rolling here.
Well, yeah, let's try. Let's try for sure. If you want to check out the website, 360sportsnetwork.blogspot.com. Bunch of articles up there, college predictions, fantasy rankings, recaps. Great website. But here's where I need a little help. Okay?
All right.
I got a lot of buys this week, but I think I have enough to get by, no pun intended. And here's my running backs. I have McFadden in because Hillis is on a bye. Not that they're, for some reason, they don't want to play him. I'm keeping Darren Sproles in at running back. He was in my flex because he has yet to get under 10 points. Now, my flex position, I'm going to use a receiver. Now, should I go with Robert Meacham or Julio Jones?
Wow. Julio Jones is due. He really is. However, with Matt Ryan, the way he's been playing, and it's been kind of streaky, Matt Ryan's been a little disappointing this year. I would probably go with Meacham at this stage, only because Julio Jones he's just been a little inconsistent for what I'm happy with. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, the reason I asked was Julio Jones the last 2 weeks has had, I think, over 8 catches in each game, and he's got way more yards than Meacham. Almost, I think, more than double, almost. But Meacham has 3 touchdowns, and Jones has none.
Exactly. So you want to go with the hot hand here, and basically the guy's getting into pay dirt actually pays a lot better than yardage.
It does. It sure does.
So with that said, I'd probably play Meacham, although, Julio Jones is due. It's just that, do we want to sit here and take a look at and speculate when he's going to be due, or are we going to go with somebody that has lately been producing? And as the old Janet Jackson song says, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, I just look at it like Julio Jones, they're home against Green Bay on Sunday night. Maybe they're looking for a little revenge, maybe they'll play good, and then you have the Saints going at Carolina. And Carolina has been playing like, I'm waiting for them to have that game where you're like, oh man, they finally did it. They beat the Saints.
Yeah, and with the defensive matchups the way they are, there's a reason why Green Bay, won the Super Bowl and they're in first place. Carolina's defense is not bad, but you have to take a look at the Saints' offensive prowess and the fact that Drew Brees spreads that ball around. I would go with Meacham. That's the same thing.
Okay, I'll listen to you. I'm in first because of you. So.
We're talking to Greg from 360 Sports, and let's talk about we're a quarter through the season, and there's some disappointing guys out there who are drafted high, and one name that particularly comes to mind is Rashard Mendenhall. What do you do with him?
Yeah, Rashard Mendenhall has been very perplexing. This is a guy that if you can afford to maybe put him on the bench for the time being, that might be something to take a look at. But here's the thing. The Steelers' offensive line has truly been offensive. And part of the problem with Mendenhall is the fact that he doesn't have the blocking up front to get him to where he needs to go. So with the signing of Max Starks, I think that's going to greatly help things. If you have another running back that you can play, in his position, I would do that. But if you don't, well, you want to continue to start Mendenhall for the time being. Although Isaac Redman has been getting a lot of touches, and Isaac Redman's been looking pretty impressive here. He's more of a north-south runner than what Mendenhall's been doing, and you may want to take a look at Isaac Redman. And he's available in 97% of the leagues that are out there right now.
It's not bad right there. We mentioned I had Peyton Hillis earlier, and I just want to ask a general question about him when it comes to fantasy. When they played Tennessee last week, he had 10 carries, 46 yards, and then they stopped giving him the ball. They stopped throwing at him. They basically left him out of the offense while the Browns tried to play catch-up. And it was kind of strange because the Browns weren't really out of the game until the fourth, and there's been that contract stuff in the air that we've been trying to address. But now that there's a bye week coming up, do you think they're going to feed Peyton Hillis more? Or do you think this is going to be one of them players where, because of the offense he's in now, he could be not a bust, but not as productive as you were hoping he would be at the beginning of the year?
Well, I was never high on Peyton Hillis to begin with. I'm not really high on most of the Cleveland Browns offense.
And I can't blame you.
As much as I respect the Browns, it's just one of those things that the wow factor, the yards, the number of touches, the looks, it's been inconsistent altogether. If you have Hillis on your team, I'd start looking for perhaps somebody else that could be the emerging star that can get you some points, and you might want to just put him off to the waiver wire there.
Ouch.
Talking to Greg from 360 Sports, another player that perplexed not only me but a lot of fantasy owners is Tim Hightower. He had a good beginning to the season, first two games, I believe, but then last week, as they say, he got Shanahan. Mike Shanahan decided to start Ryan Terrain. Terrain had a great game, over 100 yards and a touchdown. Where does this leave Tim Hightower?
That really hurts Tim Hightower's opportunities as far as numbers go, because Shanahan's looking for any way to basically make things happen. And Ryan Terrain had a pretty good year last year, especially toward the end of the year. And what Terrain has done, last week he had 135 yards and a touchdown. And that's nothing to sneeze at. And Shanahan is going to go with a hot hand there on that ball. And with Terrain being available in almost 75% of the leagues that are out there at this time frame, if he's out there in your waiver wire, I'd drop Hillis and pick up Terrain, to be honest with you.
Now, is there any way to protect yourself? Like if you're a Hightower owner, suppose you have Hightower and Terrain, how do you know which guy to play?
Well, it's the same type of situation if you have Arian Foster and Ben Tate. It's like, who do you play here? And what you have to do is you have to take a look at the trends. And I'm real big on trend analysis. The bottom line is, what has he done recently? What has this person accomplished? What has this person achieved? Hightower has not done much. Do you set Hightower? Do you pick up Terrain? That's going to be a close judgment call here. But being that a guy had 135 yards and a touchdown, chances are they're going to play him again pretty heavily. They're not going to switch this guy out unless he does something completely obnoxious, and Twitter's something bizarre. I think Terrain's going to be the hot hand here.
Just real quick before we let you go, Greg, I in my one league, somebody had Ben Tate, they dropped him, and you just mentioned him because of what Arian Foster did. If you don't need him to start, and if you just need a running back, and you can get Ben Tate, do you think that's a good idea?
Actually, if you're looking for somebody to pick up and perhaps not start, Ben Tate is okay, especially if Arian Foster goes down and that hamstring does kick up again. But a couple of names that you might want to take a look at would be Stevan Ridley.
Yeah, from
yes,
New England.
I am high on this guy. This guy had 18 touches, 8.7 yards per carry. He's available in 98% of the leagues that are out there. Stevan Ridley, and you can take it from me, by the time the season comes to its second quarter, the end of the second quarter, this guy will be the starting running back for the Patriots.
Wow.
So 98% of leagues except mine. Unreal.
So, and there's some other fantastic guys on the waiver wire that can be picked up. Jared Cook, tight end for Tennessee, if you need some tight end action. That doesn't sound right.
I know all about
Jared Cook had 93 yards. He had an 80-yard touchdown run against the Browns last week. He's available in 98% of the leagues. Jermaine Grisham, that is. For Cincinnati. Yeah, 84% of the leagues that are out there. And get this for a fact. Over the past 4 weeks, he's had more targets Yeah, Gronkowski, Owen Daniels, and Vernon Davis.
Wow.
That's significant. So Andy Dalton is depending a lot on Grisham, and if you have Dallas Clark, you might want to drop this guy and take a look at either Jared Cook or Grisham. And of course, there's also a really good tight end available down in Carolina by the name of Greg Olson, who's available in about 55% of the leagues that are out there as well.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you very much, Greg, for joining us. Go ahead and tell us about the website real quick.
Yeah, you can check us out, 360sportsnetwork.blogspot.com, or just Google 360 Sports Network. We'll just pop right up there. We're also on Twitter at 3S Network. Check us out, and we love to hear back from all of our fans. It's part of the whole 360 concept here.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Greg. We'll look forward to talking to you next Thursday.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
There you go, Greg from 360 Sports Network. Going to take a break, come back.